If you have been both widowed and divorced at some point in your life, I need you to stop whatever you're doing and pay very close attention to the next few minutes. Because there is a Social Security rule that was designed specifically for people in your situation, and it is one of the least known, most underclaimed benefits in the entire Social Security system. Here is what most people in your situation do not know. If you have been married more than once, and one of those marriages ended in divorce while another ended with the death of a spouse, you may be eligible to choose between multiple Social Security benefits, your own retirement benefit, a divorced spouse benefit based on an ex-spouse's earnings record, or a survivor benefit based on a deceased spouse's earnings record. And here is the part that changes everything. You get to claim the one that pays you the most money. Not an average of all of them, not a combination of reduced amounts. The biggest one, the one that puts the most dollars in your pocket every single month for the rest of your life. And right now, today, there are seniors across America who are collecting a smaller check than they are legally entitled to, simply because nobody ever sat them down and explained that they had a choice. Please do not be one of them. Stay with me through this entire video because by the end, you are going to know exactly which benefit applies to your situation, how to compare them, what mistakes to avoid, and precisely what steps to take next. Welcome back, and if this is your first time here, I'm genuinely glad you found this channel today. Today's topic is one that I consider among the most important we have ever covered, because it sits at the intersection of two separate Social Security benefit categories that most people think have nothing to do with each other. We are talking about what happens when you have been both widowed and divorced, and how the Social Security rules give you a unique advantage that the vast majority of retirees simply do not have. Let's build the foundation first, because the clearer you are on the basics, the easier everything else becomes. When you have been widowed and divorced, you potentially have access to three separate Social Security benefit amounts. The first is your own retirement benefit, based entirely on your own work history and earnings record. The second is a divorced spouse benefit, which can be up to 50% of your ex-spouse's full retirement age benefit if that marriage lasted at least 10 years. The third is a survivor benefit, which can be up to 100% of your deceased spouse's benefit if that marriage lasted at least 9 months or you have a child from that marriage. Now here's the rule that makes all of this matter. Social Security will not pay you all three of these benefits at once. What they will do is pay you the highest benefit you're entitled to. Or in some strategic situations, allow you to collect one benefit now and switch to a higher benefit later. That flexibility, that ability to choose, compare, and switch, is the entire financial opportunity we're talking about today. And most people who are eligible for it have never been told it exists. Most retirees do not know this, and the next few minutes are going to change that completely. Let's start by understanding exactly what each benefit pays, so you can begin to see which one might be the largest in your situation. Your own retirement benefit is based on your 35 highest earning years. If you worked for many years at a good salary, your own benefit might be substantial. If you spent years out of the workforce raising children or caring for a family member, your own benefit might be lower than you expected. You can check your estimated own benefit right now for free by logging into ssa.gov and creating or accessing your My Social Security account. The divorced spouse benefit pays up to 50% of your ex-spouse's full retirement age benefit. To qualify, you must have been married to that ex-spouse for at least 10 years, you must currently be unmarried, and your own benefit must be lower than the divorced spouse benefit amount. If your ex-spouse had a strong earnings history, especially if they earned significantly more than you did during the marriage, this benefit could be considerably higher than your own. The survivor benefit from a deceased spouse pays up to 100% of what your deceased spouse was receiving or was entitled to receive at the time of their death. Notice that the survivor benefit goes up to 100%, double the divorced spouse benefit maximum of 50%. This is why, in most situations where someone has been both divorced and widowed, the survivor benefit from the deceased spouse tends to be the largest of the three options. But that is not always the case, and assuming it is without checking is exactly the kind of mistake that costs seniors real money. Now, let's talk about the 6 critical rules that determine which benefit you can claim and when, because these rules are the difference between getting this right and leaving thousands of dollars uncollected. Rule number 1 is the marriage length requirement for each benefit type. For the divorced spouse benefit, you must have been married to your ex-spouse for at least 10 full years before the divorce. For the survivor benefit, the marriage to your deceased spouse must have lasted at least 9 months, unless your spouse died in an accident in the line of duty, or you have a child from the marriage, in which case the 9-month requirement may be waived. These are 2 different thresholds: 10 years for divorce, 9 months for widowhood, and both must be met independently for each benefit to be available to you. Rule number 2 is the current marital status rule, and this one trips people up more than almost anything else. To claim the divorced spouse benefit, you must currently be unmarried. To claim the survivor benefit from a deceased spouse, you must also generally be unmarried, unless you remarried after age 60 or after age 50 if you are disabled. Here is why this matters so much. If you remarried after being widowed and that subsequent marriage ended in divorce, you may still be able to claim survivor benefits from your first deceased spouse. But if you remarried before age 60 after being widowed, that remarriage may have cut off your access to the survivor benefit, even if you are now divorced again. This is one of the most complex areas of Social Security law, and it is one where the specific dates of your marriages, divorces, and widowhood matter enormously. If this situation sounds like yours, please do not try to figure it out on your own. Call Social Security directly at 1-800-772-1213 and ask them to review your full marital history and tell you every benefit you might be entitled to. Rule number 3 is the age requirement. You must be at least 62 to claim the divorced spouse benefit. You must be at least 60 to claim survivor benefits, or 50 if you are disabled. The fact that you can access survivor benefits at age 60 instead of 62 gives widowed individuals a 2-year head start on receiving income that divorced only individuals do not have. And that 2-year window can be enormously valuable if you need income and are trying to let another benefit, like your own retirement benefit, continue to grow. Rule number 4 is perhaps the most strategically powerful rule in this entire video, and it is the one most people have never heard of. You're allowed to claim one benefit first and then switch to a higher benefit later. Let me say that one more time because it is that important. You can claim one benefit now, even at a reduced rate, and switch to a different, higher benefit at a later age. This is called a stepping stone strategy, and it is completely legal, fully supported by Social Security policy, and used by smart retirees every single day. Here is a real example of how powerful this can be. Let's say Patricia is 62 years old. She was married to her first husband, David, for 12 years before they divorced. David is still alive and has a full retirement age benefit of $2,000 per month. Patricia's divorced spouse benefit would be up to $1,000 per month, 50% of David's amount. Patricia was later married to her second husband, Robert, for 18 years before he passed away. Robert's Social Security benefit was $2,800 per month. Patricia's survivor benefit from Robert would be up to $2,800 per month, 100% of what Robert was receiving. Patricia's own retirement benefit at her full retirement age would be $900 per month. So she has 3 options: $900 from her own record, $1,000 from the divorced spouse benefit on David's record, or $2,800 from the survivor benefit on Robert's record. The survivor benefit from Robert is clearly the largest. But here's where the stepping stone strategy comes in. If Patricia claims the survivor benefit at age 60, the earliest she can, it will be permanently reduced to about $2,016 per month because she is claiming it early. But what if instead, Patricia waits on the survivor benefit and claims her own retirement benefit at 62 to get some income flowing in? Then at her full retirement age, let's say 67, she switches to the full unreduced survivor benefit of $2,800 per month. By doing it this way, she collected her own benefit for 5 years as a bridge, and she arrives at full retirement age receiving the full unreduced survivor benefit for the rest of her life. That is a strategy that could add tens of thousands of dollars to her lifetime Social Security income compared to simply claiming the survivor benefit early at age 60. This is the next rule that could save you thousands. So stay with me, because we have more ground to cover. Rule number 5 is the interaction between survivor benefits and your own delayed retirement credits. Your own Social Security retirement benefit grows by 8%. For every year you delay past your full retirement age, up until age 70. The survivor benefit does not grow past your full retirement age. The divorced spouse benefit also does not grow past your full retirement age. This means that if your own benefit, after growing to age 70, would eventually exceed your survivor benefit or divorced spouse benefit, then the optimal strategy might be to collect the survivor benefit or divorced spouse benefit as a bridge and switch to your own maximized benefit at 70. This is the reverse of the strategy I just described for Patricia. And whether it is right for you depends entirely on the specific numbers in your situation. There is no universal answer. There is only the right answer for your specific combination of earnings, records, ages, and benefit amounts. This is where many seniors lose money, by assuming one strategy is right without comparing the actual numbers. Rule number 6 is the most important rule of all, and it is the simplest. You must apply to receive anything. Social Security does not automatically give you the highest benefit you are entitled to. They do not monitor your situation and proactively upgrade your check when you become eligible for something better. It is entirely your responsibility to know your options, compare your benefit amounts, and file the appropriate application at the right time. Which means that right now, today, If you have been both widowed and divorced and you're not certain you are receiving the highest benefit you are entitled to, there's a real possibility that you're leaving money uncollected. Not because you did anything wrong, not because the system is cheating you, simply because nobody ever explained to you that you had a choice. Let me also address a question that comes up constantly from people in this situation. What if I do not know how much my ex-spouse or deceased spouse's Social Security benefit was? This is more common than you might think, especially if the divorce happened decades ago or if the deceased spouse passed before you started thinking seriously about Social Security. Here is what you do. Call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213. Give them your ex-spouse's full name and date of birth, or your deceased spouse's name, date of birth, and date of death. If you have their Social Security number, bring that too, but it is not always required. Social Security can look up the benefit amounts associated with those records and tell you what you might be entitled to claim. You do not need anyone's permission. You do not need to coordinate with an ex-spouse. You do not need documentation from the deceased spouse's estate. You just need to call and ask. And one more thing that most retirees do not know. If you were entitled to a higher benefit in the past, but did not know to claim it, Social Security may be able to pay you up to 6 months of retroactive benefits from your application date. That will not recover everything you missed, but it is something, and it is better than nothing. Now let's bring everything together so you walk away from this video with a clear picture of exactly where you stand. If you have been both widowed and divorced, you potentially have access to 3 separate Social Security benefit amounts. Your own benefit, a divorced spouse benefit of up to 50% of a living ex-spouse's record, and a survivor benefit of up to 100% of a deceased spouse's record. You cannot collect all 3 simultaneously, but you can compare them and claim the largest one. In many cases, the stepping stone strategy, collecting one smaller benefit first, while a larger benefit continues to grow, will give you significantly more total lifetime income than simply claiming the highest available benefit as soon as you are eligible. The 6 rules to keep in mind are the marriage length requirements, the current marital status rules, the age requirements, the stepping stone claiming strategy, the interaction between survivor benefits and delayed retirement credits on your own record, and the fact that none of this happens automatically. You must apply. Here's your action plan starting today. Step 1. Go to ssa.gov and log into your My Social Security account to see your own estimated benefit at 62, at your full retirement age, and at 70. Step 2. Call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213 and ask them to tell you what divorced spouse benefit you may be entitled to based on your ex-spouse's record and what survivor benefit you are entitled to based on your deceased spouse's record. Step 3. Write all 3 numbers down side by side and compare them. Step 4. If the numbers are close, or if the stepping stone strategy might apply to your situation, consider speaking with a financial advisor or Social Security benefits counselor who can help you model out the different claiming scenarios. Free counseling is available through your State Health Insurance Assistance Program, known as SHIP, which offers one-on-one benefits, help at no charge to Medicare beneficiaries. I want to ask you something in the comments right now. Have you been both widowed and divorced? And did you know before watching this video that you might have the option to choose between multiple Social Security benefits? Or is this the first time you're hearing about this? Your answer genuinely helps me understand what topics this community needs most, and it might also help another viewer who is in the exact same situation as you and just needs to hear that they are not alone. If this video helped you today, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you know who has been widowed, divorced, or both. This information deserves to reach as many people as possible, because every senior who watches it has the chance to claim what they rightfully earned. And if you're not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications right now. Every week on this channel, we cover Social Security, Medicare, and retirement income topics in plain, honest English, because you deserve to understand every dollar you have coming to you. You have been through a lot. You have earned these benefits, and you deserve every single penny of them.